I entered the foster care system when I was 8 years old. Anytime she saw a car coming down this long, gravel and dirt road, she would hide us in the attic or hide us in a shed or something like that. We ended up getting intercepted at school. I was in 3rd grade and my younger brother Noah was in kindergarten. Chris and Moses were taken from the home. I remember vividly being told that we were going to a movie. So I was expecting, going to a movie for the first time, you're kind of excited, and I ended up at this family's home. I didn't know them, and they tried to explain things, but I didn't understand it. Why were we here? I sat down for my first family meal that night, and I also slept in my own bed for the first time that night. I cried myself to sleep that night, even though I was sleeping in my own bed, and it was a small relief, because I wasn't sleeping on a cold floor and wrapping myself in old clothes, trying to stay warm. That was the last time I ever saw Moses, and we never reconnected. So you're talking 25, now we're looking at 29 years ago, and I never reconnected with him. One thing that I never got to deal with was the anger that had built up. I started very shortly acting out. I couldn't read very well. Algebra might as well have been a foreign language, and so I was frustrated. I was frustrated with the system. I was just frustrated with life in general. And so I acted out. I didn't try. I finally had this epiphany, report cards full of F's, D's and F's, and my foster mother at the time says, if you don't pass this year, you're going to a juvenile detention center. There's no hope for you. And I figured once she had lost hope in me, I knew everyone else had, but I didn't care. But she was the closest thing I had to a mother. So when she lost hope in me, the thought of ending up in a cell scared me. It scared me enough to where I brought my books home and ended up getting A's and B's and everything and passing by the skin of my teeth. And then from there I stayed on the honor roll. I discovered track and field, which gave me that self-esteem that I was so desperately looking for. My track coach at the time said, "Adam, have you ever thought about college?" And people like me don't go to college. I went through the steps. I went to my guidance counselor, and he took one look at me and said, "Adam, I'm glad you're excited about this, but college just isn't for people of your background." So, 15 years later, I ended up with a PhD and, wrote a 400-page book about my life. I always reference myself as part of the 3%. In 1999, 3% of foster children were successful or self-sufficient. Fast forward 20 years later now, that number is still 3%. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Without foster care and without both of my foster families, I could undoubtedly say I'd probably be in jail or worse. I think anyone interested in foster care, I would encourage them to just look into their heart rather than look around their house and see what they have. If they can look into a parent's eyes and feel safe, that's the one thing they need more than anything: safety and love. And if you can offer those two things, trust me when I say that they will feel rich. We can make a difference, even if it's just a week. You can make a profound difference in their life. If you can send them away with a suitcase instead of a trash bag, or if you can just give them a hug. If a child can hold on to hope, they can make it through this thing we call life. I aged out of the system. Sadly, that summer before college, I was actually homeless for 2 weeks, and my next door neighbor, who happened to be my foster mother's sister, took me in, and if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have made it through college. These teenagers getting ready to age out of the system, before they go out into the world, if they just know one person cares about them, it makes a world of difference in their trajectory. There's no amount of money that you can give a child aging out of foster care that's going to help them feel their way through this world. You're really feeling your way through the dark. You can help these kids make something of themselves, help them channel their potential in creative and meaningful ways. And you, at the end of the day, your legacy can be, yeah, I did that, or I was a part of that, part of the making this world a little bit better place. And that's why foster children need you.